movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Now this is podcasting.
This is Super FilmsCast 64.
This is Super FilmsCast 64. How you guys doing today? Adam, Spencer, what is up?
Man, Trey, just been watching things.
Yeah?
Yeah, getting ready to do a whole lot of movie talk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been rough though, because y'all are just already outpacing me this year, and this is one of these things with our competition. For any of you new listeners, we're doing a competition. Who can watch the most new movies this year? New to them.
Yeah. Well,
And I can't let myself get behind because it'll be impossible to catch up.
Well, this is Super FilmsCast 64 because we're starting for the third time. I'm Trey Mitchell, and to my immediate front we have Adam Fullerton.
So, dudes.
And we have Spencer Hall.
Hello.
And middle name Chucky, right?
No,
Or
first
Charles?
name is Charles.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. First name's Charles. Second name's Spencer.
No, second name is Chucky. Third name is Spencer.
Okay.
But I don't
Third
have a
name's
middle
Spencer.
name because I have 4 names.
4 names. It's Chucky, Charles, Spencer, Chuck.
No, it's Charles, Chucky, Spencer, Hi.
Hi.
It's double L is soft.
Okay.
It's like a Y sound.
Wow.
I thought it
Very
was ha ha. It was ha too.
That's a common misconception.
Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
This is Super FilmsCast 64. It's the show where you talk about movies. Today on the show, Adam, what's the run sheet looking like?
Oh, all right. Well, we're going to talk about some of the movies that we've been watching. We'll get into a little news, including why Mark Wahlberg is so precious with his time.
Oh.
Then we'll get into Spencer's top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah, because we both did our top 10, and Spencer hasn't done his top 10.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Spencer,
only fair.
Yeah. I need to know what you like, Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will in just a few short minutes.
I'm excited.
And then we're going to talk about a little bit about the movies that we are most anticipating for 2018, and then the old Twitter section where we hear from you guys and answer your very probing and interesting Twitter questions.
Yeah.
We might need to just start making our own Twitter questions up.
Your very high and antioxidant Twitter questions.
Very cerebral and intriguing and delightful Twitter questions.
Yes.
What have you guys been watching?
All right. Well,
Oh, God.
we started off our competition, and I came out of the gates real hot. And then this week I was a little bit busy.
Oh
and then
God.
I was like, oh, I'm not going as fast. And then the week was over, and I watched 6 movies.
Yeah.
So
what we're doing is we're trying to see at the very least 100 movies in a year, but we're also we're doing a kind of a competition for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're doing a competition against each other, and pretty much we're seeing who can see the most movies this year.
And it's movies that we have not seen before.
Correct.
Does not have to be new releases,
Right.
but it just has to be unseen by us.
And I kind of thought about also, what do you, where would you put into the camp of like a movie that you might have seen, but you just don't remember any of it? Because I'm thinking of like Fast and the Furious. I want to watch all the Fast and the Furiouses.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've watched the first one, but I couldn't tell you how it ends.
So then it doesn't count.
Yeah.
If you know you've seen it,
Yeah.
Then it doesn't
spirit of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing that I was struggling with today.
Mm-hmm.
Is there are so many movies that I'd love to rewatch,
Yeah.
but when I have to watch at least 2 movies a week that I
Mhm.
haven't seen before, it's like I don't have much time to
Right.
rewatch any movies this year.
Yeah. I hear you. And that's kind of putting a damper on my YouTube stuff with the video game film school, because I want to work on this Last of Us video, but man, there's a lot of movies to watch to keep up with that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we all make an agreement to kind of slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll slow down.
I'll do that. We'll do a truce on that.
I can't make any promises.
All right.
But let's see. So this week I watched Chronicle by Trey's
Yes,
recommendation. I enjoyed it. I think the found footage part of it does not age well
No. Yeah.
at all. I like that it's a superhero movie where it's kind of like an origin story, and it kind of gets to the part where, a bad guy's going to pop out of somewhere, and then they're going to have to like use their new powers to fight a bad guy. But instead, it kind of turns it on its head.
Mm-hmm.
And so overall, I thought it was all right. I wouldn't rate it as highly
Sure.
as you do,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have any problems with it.
Okay.
I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
That looks interesting.
That's
I'll put that on my watch list.
I liked that.
It's a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
And a woman gets her laptop and some other stuff stolen from her, and she's kind of a walkover. It's kind of like Office Space.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, where someone who's kind of been a pushover their entire life finally just decides, no, I'm going to do things, and then crazy things happen. And it doesn't go in as much of a comedic sense as Office Space. But it's really interesting. Elijah Wood's in it and plays a really fun character.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of like a cool karate guy.
Is that a really interesting post Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably the most interesting one to come out of.
Elijah Wood is one of those guys where I like, for whatever reason, if I could hang out with any actor, Elijah Wood is unnecessarily high up my list.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm with you. He seems like a really cool dude. Laid back, down to earth dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't feel at home in this world anymore. I would suggest watching if you guys would want. A Ghost Story I watched.
Okay.
This movie, as I watched the credits roll, I've worked with a ton of people that worked on this movie. It was done by Idea Man Productions out of Dallas, which is something that I've done a lot of work with. This is the kind of movie that the guys on the FilmsCast think that we watch and enjoy. It's super arty and like no one talks for most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's in 4:3 with vignetted edges and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's enjoyable, but this is like an indie movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is like, I remember back in high school, like I remember someone made a video. It was like the stereotypical indie movie. And it was like the plastic bag floating in the air and someone crying. Yeah, just kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I watched Good Time with Robert Pattinson.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's a ton of fun.
All right.
It came out earlier this year. Robert Pattinson has a mentally handicapped brother, and they go and rob a bank. And his brother gets arrested and then beat up in jail, and so he's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so Robert Pattinson goes to break him out of the hospital and out of jail, and he breaks out the wrong guy. And there's just it's kind of like super action-packed, and there's a bunch of kind of weird, cool stuff going on. There's a lot of, like, the color palette they use is really interesting and kind of active. It's a A24 movie, which
A24's been putting out some
they
good
put out
stuff.
a ton of really good stuff
Right.
this year.
Yeah, they've been consistently for the last several years. I think, like, for me, it was starting with like Ex Machina is when they really started putting out consistently good stuff.
The Post I watched
Okay.
last night.
I still need to see that.
It's good. I wouldn't put it in Spotlight. I think it's kind of easy to compare those two. It's not as interesting as Spotlight or some other media type movies. It is kind of amazing that Steven Spielberg is able to make the movie as interesting as it is.
Yeah.
Considering what it's really about.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you sum up the plot in one sentence, it's not going to sound like deciding whether or not to publish papers about the government is really what it is. It's not like them finding the leaks is super interesting. It's just them deciding whether or not to actually go through with it.
Yeah, because most of those kinds of movies, the best part is them discovering the conspiracy or the thing unraveling.
Right.
Yeah.
And this, it's just kind of will they, won't they?
Sure.
And then Dogtooth I watched this morning. Yorgo Lanthimos of Killing of Sacred Deer, which we loved, and The Lobster, which I think we all loved. It's this was the one where I think he won an Oscar for foreign language film.
Okay, really?
For this, I'm pretty sure. And this is his first kind of crossover to where it's in Greek, so it's all subtitled, but it's definitely a Yorgo movie, and it's very obvious. Like you can kind of see why his career has gone where it has gone from what you've seen from it, and that's what I've watched.
Cool.
Yeah.
Spencer?
Okay, I watched 3 movies this week. I watched the 2 movies that each of y'all... Oh, no, I watched 4 movies. I watched the movies y'all recommended. I watched Don't Think Twice, the movie about basically a improv troupe.
Yeah.
That it's basically just... It's kind of just a story about these really talented improvisers who are trying to make improv into a career, and just follows their friend group and their career trajectory. It was really cool, especially just starting improv. So that was fun to watch. I watched Chronicle per Trey's recommendation. Pretty similar sentiments to Adam, whereas I thought the world was cool, the concept was cool, but found footage was unnecessary, and the two main characters just irked me to death because there's Dane DeHaan, who
I think he's fine.
He turns heel, but he's just like the moodiest character.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like will not listen to anybody else.
Right.
And it's just, you don't like me, just flips a switch and is just like so insanely angry. And then his cousin, who is also just like
generic.
Yeah. But I think it would be cool. I really like the world that they built. So that's my main take from it. I watched The Post as well. I get also similar sentiment to Adam, where pretty interesting movie, some really, really good performances, but not anywhere near like a Spotlight level. I think part of it is, honestly, I feel like part of it is that it's obviously an incredibly important piece of history, similar to Spotlight. But when you have these insanely wealthy people risking it all, they'll be fine at the end of the day. Whereas like this everyman, like people working the beat, breaking this story, that's way more interesting because these are people who are not in a position of power making something incredible happen.
And like Spotlight, where that whole city is the Catholic Church.
Right.
You're going against the populace. You're
Yeah.
going against the city.
Yeah.
You're going against religion or people's lives.
Yeah.
Also, how did you feel about Tom Hanks in this movie?
It's not his best.
He just like kind of does an angry,
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know. He's doing like a bad stage play character, I feel, where he's going way hard on it.
Yeah, I think they did show a little bit of footage of we saw it at the Alamo Draft House, and so they did a little bit of like, there was a 60 Minutes episode on the Washington Post, and that, I can't remember his name, but the editor.
Ben.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's actually kind of accurate, his accent.
Okay.
It is a little bit how he sounds, from what I recall, but it was, I thought like Bob Odenkirk's performance was great.
Yeah.
More of the supporting characters were better. The guy who plays the Secretary of State, I guess.
Oh yeah, Bob McNamara.
Yeah, that performance is really good. But yeah, and then I watched Arrival for the first time, way
Hell
late.
yeah.
But that was I am doing my top 10, and that was pretty close to cracking it. Honestly,
Ooh.
It's so good.
it's
it's
really
good.
cool. I'm not going to say anything for people who haven't seen it that might spoil it.
You just got to see it.
It's just really interesting, and it just takes the whole concept of just what would happen if aliens landed, and this made it feel way more authentic and real as far as how the world would actually react.
Yes.
Whereas typically it's aliens have landed and they're in LA or
Yeah.
they're somewhere in America for sure and they're only here, but this is global scale. What do you do? So I really enjoyed that. And so I learned that it was based off of a short story, and you can find the PDF online. It's like 33 pages. So my thought is, I'm going to read that and I might get even more context, but it's 33 pages, so I doubt I will get any more context. But highly recommend that to anyone who has not seen it.
If you ever want to see a short, this is not a book, but a short movie that's really good, is I know 12 Monkeys. It's based on like a very, very short film. It's like a 10-minute film.
I love 12
forgot what it's called, but yeah. Watch it. It's like a French film. I think it's French, and it's done in like pictures. Like they're just photographs. It's like it's a narration and they're photographs.
I bet it is French because I believe the director of 12 Monkeys also directed The Professional.
Okay.
As well as like several other French movies.
Okay.
So
didn't Terry Gilliam do 12 Monkeys?
Was
Am
it
I
Terry
wrong?
Gilliam?
Yeah,
Yes,
Terry
Terry
Gilliam.
Gilliam did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think Leon did. The director of Leon did 12, the Fifth Element. Maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
I think
That
I might be
Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. So
Trey.
Arrival is on Netflix. For
yes, you
So-
should see that.
If anybody out there wants to watch it.
We should do, if you want to do, best sci-fi films, maybe segment.
Yeah, maybe.
So I watched a whopping 10 movies.
Wowee.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And I'm only one behind Adam on this. So I've seen
Great
12
work,
in total. Man. So, all right, I'll go through these quickly. I saw Don't Think Twice.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great. Like every character kind of reminded me of me in a way.
Yeah.
Like the whole, paranoid about just being kind of pissed off that people are having more success than you are, and that jealousy, which I think is my worst trait, is I get a little jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it and I try to curb it, but I don't try to show that. But I definitely do, and that's definitely there's a lot of jealousy, and then there's a lot of like, you're now in a big position and you're trying to help your friends, but you can't, and it's that kind of that guilt. Like there's a lot of really interesting, very real characters in this.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that, and not even just the improv part. Like I thought that was really cool, but just how these group of friends interact and the kind of the turmoil. Them trying to balance friendship with their career is something definitely working. The place I work, I definitely feel that a lot.
Yeah.
You want to keep your friends, but you're also kind of competing with your friends. And
Right.
It's very, very strange. It's a great film though. Netflix.
That's on
It's
Netflix
there.
as
Yeah.
well.
I watched The Warriors on Spencer's request.
Yeah.
So I like The World a lot, and I think we all tend to say we like The World in this show, which is that's definitely something that's a lot of movies do have great worlds, but it's it's in the 70s, it's low budget, it's a indie film for better words. It just the acting wasn't great.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the characters. And look, I know. Oh, you're not supposed to like the characters, but like Clockwork Orange,
No, you're supposed to like these characters.
I didn't at all. I just thought
That's fine.
they're lame. I don't know. Like they all had little vests on, and like that's so impractical. You're gonna be cold. They're dropping like the F bomb. It's like, dude, you're wearing a little vest. I wouldn't be calling anyone an F.
Dude, they're leather vests.
They're little mini vests. It's cool. I see why it's a cult favorite. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty. The concept is awesome. Just like a bunch of gangs, running the streets, and they all have really cool themes to them. But I think just like the movie itself wasn't my thing.
Well,
but I enjoyed
Thanks for
watching
watching
it.
it anyways.
No, I enjoyed watching it. It was fine. But it's I don't think it doesn't go out next to Escape from New York or something like that for me. But it was good though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was fine.
You don't have to. Don't
yeah.
feel bad if you don't like the movie I suggested. I just told you I didn't
It was all right.
like your movie, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
It's fine. I fucking
Would you
hated it.
suggest someone else watch it?
If you enjoy kind of 80s campy punk kind of movies, yeah. But I mean, if you don't, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's very like 80s punk, but I think there are other movies that do it way better.
Okay.
Like Escape from New York, Clockwork Orange. Just those are the two movies I thought of watching it. Then I saw Brick, which might be my favorite of the movies I watched. And that's just, it kind of goes to my sensibilities of like, I love like neo-noir films. And I really like the concept of this. And it's, what's the director's name?
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Who just did The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And the
did
movie
Looper.
is basically a mob movie set in a high school.
It is it's more of a noir crime movie based on a high
Yes.
school. And it's all like the kind of the elements of a noir film. You have, You have the femme fatale. You have sort of this very flawed hero or flawed detective. You have, this mystery that intertwines. At the end, you kind of have, he kind of solves it, but not really. And at the end, he kind of ends up worse than he was at the beginning. It has all the touches of a great noir film. If you like noir films, definitely see it. It is a really, and I didn't even watch it because of Rian Johnson. This was like, I was trying to find some noir films to watch, like neo-noir films. This was on a list. Then I'm like, oh crap, Rian Johnson. I love Rian. I love Looper and all that. So yeah, it's a really fun watch. Then I watched Her.
Yes.
And actually, I think I watched Her and Brick at the same night. No, I didn't watch. I watched The Warriors and Brick. Wait, okay, no. I watched Her and The Lobster on the same night, which was weird.
Okay.
It was very weird. So I watched Her, and I like it. I liked it a lot. I liked the world they kind of built, and I liked how more in-depth they went. Because I thought it would just be like, okay, this is the story. But they kind of went into this universe they're in, where everybody's has this kind of companion on their computer that they can be friends with or talk to, and everybody has mom pants on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's the last movie with fat Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it has fat Chris Pratt
Yeah.
in it. Yeah. I thought it was an interesting choice to use Scarlett Johansson, and how they wrote it, how her dialogue was very natural.
Well, now, why did you think that was an interesting choice?
Because I thought it was a good choice and an interesting choice, because a lot of times in movies with artificial intelligence, they speak in a very certain way. They're very, static, or they have a very weird way of talking to make you feel like they're an artificial intelligent thing. Scarlett Johansson was just talking like it was an out-of-town girlfriend, which I thought was really cool, and that kind of drove home the point of the movie almost. And it kind of it didn't make you think, oh, this is weird the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you kind of forget that she's a computer. It just sounds like he's talking to a girl, maybe like in another city or another country. Yeah.
Right. I thought even just as a voice, her performance was
yeah.
so good. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, you basically started to feel a weird connection between a guy and
A computer.
a computer. Yeah.
Pretty much. And it was definitely a movie where, depending on your viewpoint of the world, you could decipher it in different ways. If you feel like technology is run amok, and you could view this as this horrible dystopian thing, but if you kind of feel like, hey, people should just be happy, you might find this is a beautiful story. This is a hopeful story. So I'm probably running along. So that's a good one too. Her's good. Then I watched The Lobster, and I couldn't stop laughing. It is hilarious.
It's
and
very, very funny.
I think I need to rewatch Killing of a Sacred Deer, because I realize the humor now.
Yeah.
And that was just so funny. It's freaking bonkers. The whole plot, the whole just everything about it is funny. It did kind of drag towards the when they're in the woods, but man, it's a good watch. It is very funny movie. Then I watched Lady Bird, and I swear to God, it's like they filmed my sister and my mom arguing.
Yeah.
Like, it reminded me, it was uncanny. I had to text my mom and my sisters like, hey, this movie is you guys. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, even stuff she says, like, I want you to be the best you can be. It's exactly what my mom says to my sisters. Like, and they'll just be arguing about something. They'll be like shouting, and then they see a nice, oh, look at this dress. Oh, this is great. Just like stop in the middle of it it's just so funny. Like, it was so funny. To me, it just reminded me of my sisters and my mom. So I really enjoyed it for that. Also, I really, like, a lot of these movies where it's the girl coming of age, high school. Like, I don't ask me why, but I watched The Edge of 17. I think my sisters were watching it and my mom or something. And I watched that, and it's sort of that, oh, the girl thinks she's too cool for everybody, and then she kind of has to be knocked down a peg or two. And I thought it was going to be kind of like that, but no, it was just kind of a regular girl going through life. It wasn't anything where she was this kind of punk or this like person who thinks she's better than everyone else. It was just a normal girl going through life. It was really cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
And I think that's the big appeal of it, is that it's very, very real.
Yes.
And that's why people
And
like it.
Even the Catholic Church stuff, like they didn't do too much ham-fistedness with that. It was like, oh, she just goes to a Catholic school. Kind of sucks, but school sucks. It's not like Catholic schools suck. It was just, this is where she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Because they could have done the whole, oppression thing of the Catholic Church, which they kind of did with the one character, but but not really. Then I watched 3 Billboards, which if you want to do a game of connect the 2017 actors, the kid from Call Me by Your Name was in Lady Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the gay kid, the ex-boyfriend who
Timothy
comes
Chalamet.
No. And Lady Bird, he's in 3 Billboards.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, young actors.
Yeah.
Lucas Hedges.
Lucas Hedges.
And also in 3 Billboards, the young man who runs the advertising agency is an American made.
He is.
And he's also in Get Out.
Oh, yeah. He's the brother in Get Out. Man, you have a...
Daniel Stolbarg is in... The dad from Call Me by Your Name is in The Post and Shape of Water.
Is that normal? Like, does that happen a lot, or is it just a weird year for that?
I think it's a weird year.
Just good agents.
Yeah.
Agents with young talent who are finding good movies for their
well, that's good to know, man.
Actors.
That's a good thing. 3 Billboards I enjoyed a lot. I thought some parts were a little weird. I thought the decision to, I don't know. Can we do spoilers?
I mean, yeah, it's 3.
I guess the decision to kill off Woody Harrelson and just have him reading letters was just a little weird. I don't know. I didn't really like that decision for some reason.
I mean, you kind of needed it to give something to change Sam Rockwell's character.
Yeah, it's what sparks the whole secnd half.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can get with
of
that.
the movie.
Yeah, I can get with that. I don't know. I always get weird with the suicide thing, that it becomes like a good thing. Like, that just kind of bothers me. Like, making suicide a positive.
Right.
But I don't know. And I the controversy about Sam Rockwell's character becoming, I don't know. I could see why people would not like that, but I thought it was a interesting character, interesting arc. And he doesn't really get redemption.
No, I mean, he does. It's a redemption story for a guy who definitely doesn't deserve it.
Right.
So that's why.
Yeah, people are upset
people
with
are up
it.
in arms.
Right. I mean, I could see that. I just thought it was an interesting performance, though.
Right, but that's the thing with like forgiveness is
right.
It's like it's not anyone else's to give.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Did you guys see 3 Billboards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we both did.
Okay. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, I think we both liked
Both
it.
reviewed it? Okay.
It's very much like a movie where I think the performances outshine
Oh yeah,
the story.
I'm with you there, 100%.
There's a lot of things happening. I feel like there's a lot better movie within the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they could cut out a lot of storylines and the movie would be better for it.
Sure.
And not worse. So I think it's fine. I don't think it should be winning
Yeah, that's
an Academy Award.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I did not think. I'm like, when I watched it, like, I enjoyed it, but man, that should not have won.
Right.
Sicario, that is intense.
Yeah.
That is an intense movie.
It is.
It is a fucking it really makes you freaking terrified of Juarez, wherever that is in Mexico. Like, I don't ever want to go there.
I'm glad you said in Mexico, because if you just stopped at wherever that is.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Like, did you watch this movie?
Yeah. No, it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. Then right after Sicario, I watched Safety Not Guaranteed.
Okay.
And it was good. I really like Audrey Plaza. Who was the main actor in that? The guy
Mike Duplass?
who can time travel?
Mark Duplass.
What does
Mark
he do?
Duplass.
He was in The League.
Okay,
and
that's
then
where he's from.
He's in a bunch of mumblecore movies.
Yeah, he and his brother,
Okay.
I think Jay Duplass,
Okay.
do a bunch of indie movies.
Okay. I thought it was cool. I think there was some tropes in there that I didn't really like as much. They were very 90s, 80s. Like it's the kind of the cool guy who gets all the girls, and you got the nerdy Indian guy who just can't get laid. You got to get him laid, man.
Right.
It's very like early 2000s. I don't know. I didn't dig that as much, but I thought it was a good little movie.
Yeah, it got Colin Trevorrow, Rogue One.
Yeah, it did.
That was the only.
That is so
that was like the
weird.
only movie that he had.
That is so weird. How?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie, but just weird. I don't know. Anyway, then today I watched The Void, which it came out last year,
Okay.
and it is or when did it? Yeah, it came out in 2016. Yeah, 2016. It is a body horror film, sort of about a cop who finds this guy on the road, brings him into a hospital, and all this stuff goes down. And it is very much a tribute to John Carpenter, tribute to like 80s low budget horror films. The plot is kind of basic, but I loved it for its use of practical effects, horror makeup, just gross, grotesque monsters. Like, it was really well done on that camp, I thought. So if you like movies like The Thing or Alien or any kind of body horror movie, you need to see this movie. I think it's well done. If you're looking for directors to watch out for any kind of like horror like that, look for these guys who did that. So yeah, well done.
All right. Let's go to the news.
Yeah.
All right. The big news this week was Mark Wahlberg. He got paid $1.5 million for the reshoots to all the money in the world.
Yeah.
After the Kevin Spacey stuff went down, they brought in Christopher Plummer, and then they had to bring back Mark Wahlberg and the whole group to reshoot a bunch of scenes. Mark Wahlberg got paid $1.5 million. Michelle Williams got paid $8,000.
Yeah.
Now, it is kind of interesting because they have the same agency.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle Williams said, "No, I'll do it. I'll do it for free." But they paid her. I think it's the minimum rate.
The per diem.
Yeah. But then Mark Wahlberg was kind of like, "No, you got to give me my money."
Right. So wait. So was it Mark Wahlberg arguing on his own behalf? Because I also heard that it was the agency.
It's the agency
going to bat and saying, "No, we won't allow Mark Wahlberg to work for free."
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Mostly.
But you can always put your foot down and say, "No, I'm going to do this," you know?
Right. No. So I think I don't have a problem with Mark Wahlberg getting paid, provided everyone gets paid the same for the scenario. I think, yeah, it's not bad to get paid for your work, but when other people are not getting paid and you have the same representatives and they are not going to bat for the female clients as they are for the male clients, then that's where the problems.
So you think people's anger were at the wrong people? Or
no, people were mad at people. I mean, people were mad at everybody.
I thought people were just mad at Wahlberg.
No, they were really mad at the agency a lot. And so Mark Wahlberg's donated all of his $1.5 million to Time's Up, the thing that was at the Golden Globes, everything trying to stop, men.
Yeah.
and then
equality.
And then the agency donated another $500,000.
But she didn't get any money. She still doesn't have any money.
No, but she didn't want any money. She just wanted
right.
Kevin Spacey not to be in the movie that she was in and have to answer questions about working in a movie with Kevin Spacey and do all that kind of stuff.
But now she's answering questions about this. So
it's
like she was in a lose-lose and she didn't even realize it.
Yes. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be starring in the Tarantino Manson movie.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Manson. He
doesn't need that Oscar anymore.
Well, but he won. Well, he got nominated for his Oscar with Tarantino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
That was the last one before The Revenant when he won.
Yeah.
But
surprise, he's Sharon Tate.
Actually, two. Yeah. I was actually. I think it was two before because he was nominated for Wolf of Wall Street, and that's the one where everyone wanted him to win, but he didn't, or at least I did for Wolf of Wall Street. And then he was nominated for The Revenant. But I want him to get. Man, it's a weird thing. I want him to get nominated for a movie he's in. That's a Scorsese film. I want to give him an. Oh man, I'm not talking well today.
It's all right.
I want him to be nominated for a Scorsese film.
All right,
but that's just a weird pie in the sky thing.
Margot Robbie's also being talked about to be Sharon Tate.
Yes. Margot Robbie is great.
She is.
I think we had talked about it before, where it's kind of one of those things where she's almost she's either underrated or you underestimate her acting ability.
I think she's so pretty.
Right.
It's sort of a sexist thing.
And she played like her role in like The Big Short and her role in The Wolf of Wall Street, where it's just like very sexualized. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Harley Quinn So it's cool. It's really cool to see her, show her acting chops, and she also like produced I, Tonya.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm excited.
Where did she
be all for
come
that.
from? Like, what was her big breakout? Was it Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street
Yeah.
was her big breakout. I'm sure she did some smaller Australian things before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
because it seems like you just started hearing about her.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Guardians 3 is coming out.
It
Guardians
is?
of the Galaxy 3 2020.
Oh.
Imagine that. More Guardians of the Galaxy movies
They're
coming
gonna
out.
make 'em
Wow.
And in the same vein, Deadpool 2.
yeah.
They officially announced the release date, May 18th. So for all your superhero needs, there you go.
This is the superhero podcast of record.
Yes. And then finally, Saudi Arabia.
So Kirk bought a whole fucking ham, by the
I,
way.
I saw that. That's
Okay.
good.
We
Sorry.
can cut that out.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia lifted its 35-year movie ban. So it hasn't shown any movies.
So what was the last movie they showed? 35 years ago was what, 1988?
Akira. They showed Akira.
They
Well, that would have been 25 years.
they showed
The Goonies.
No.
Uh,
no way. I'm terrible at math right now.
79? What'd you say?
I'm trying to figure out what 35 years ago.
35 years would be 82.
82. Yeah. So
Oh,
what
yeah.
was big in 82, you guys?
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
But they came back, and the first movie they screened was the Emoji Movie. So it was just a way to let them know, hey, you guys, movies suck. This is
Yeah.
why we weren't letting
And-
you see them before.
And the ban was immediately reinstated.
Yeah.
Okay, here's 1982. Blade Runner, The Thing, E.T., The Poltergeist, Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, Conan the Barbarian, Tron, Tootsie, The Officer and a Gentleman.
Maybe Tootsie is
Maybe,
what
yeah.
they finally.
They're like,
they were
"Fuck
like,
this."
what is going on? with
Hell
movies
no.
now?"
What are those? Hankles?
Yeah, they were showing him the Emoji Movie, which,
Man.
it's like,
Great choice.
yeah,
It's fun for the
Great.
whole family.
yeah.
They heard it was a great year for movies. So like, let's get this.
It's like, let's get, marijuana back and make that legal, and then just start having like copious amounts of like pop parties, like that CNN New Year's Eve thing where it's like, you're trying to make this legalized and you're
Right.
making us look like an idiot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's do some box office news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, we have Jumanji coming in first, $28 million. The Post came in second, $19
Oh.
million. I was in a pretty full theater when I went to go see it
Yeah.
last
It's
night.
getting that buzz,
19 million is not super great, but
but
it,
what is anymore,
Yeah.
honestly.
The Commuter came in third, 13 million. Liam Neeson, people love it.
Yeah. Followed by some great topical takes by Neeson. But
Yes.
go on.
Then Greatest Showman, Insidious, Star Wars, Paddington 2. That makes this week's winner Spencer.
Ooh.
Hey.
No surprise.
So he had
Hey.
The Post third. The Post was second. Paddington 2 we all had for second,
Yeah.
which came way
Whiff.
lower. Even though I've heard, I've seen some stuff where people are like, it's like the best family movie that's been made in forever. It's the best movie about a false conviction in forever. I've heard a lot of great things about Paddington. It's been nominated for a bunch of BAFTAs.
Yeah. I was way ahead on this. I said BBC brave enough to put it number 3, and they were right.
So this week coming up, we have 12 Strong, the story of the horse soldiers. The horse soldiers.
Oh.
Oh God.
Is this
This
the
is
American movie?
One of those handsome Australian brothers.
Yeah, it's Chris Hemsworth
Yeah.
is leading the way.
Great.
Then there's Den of Thieves and Forever My Girl, which I don't know.
Den of Thieves has 50 Cent, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Yeah,
So I think that's what we're reviewing next week, right, fellas?
Den of Thieves all rushing out. So, Spencer, since you won,
Gosh, this does not make this any easier.
no,
It's going to be a tough one.
I mean, wait, what was the first movie that's coming out that you mentioned?
12 Strong, story of the horse soldiers.
Oh, jeez, I'll go Jumanji again.
I think this week the Post overtakes
Yeah.
Jumanji. But
So I'm looking at things
Yeah.
here on Box Office Mojo. I'm actually doing my research right now, Spencer.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I know.
what are you taking, Trey?
The Post.
Okay.
I'll take the Post second.
Okay. I'll take The Commuter second.
I'll take Jumanji second.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
So those are our picks.
What a trash week.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a real bad week.
God.
And things are probably going to get worse before they get
Yeah.
Like most things.
better. Of course.
Which is sad because movies that are coming up,
Yeah.
there are some that actually I want to be interested in
Mm-hmm.
that have like February release dates
Yes.
or March release dates.
You've already seen one of those. Ready Player One.
I've read the one.
Okay.
I've read Ready Player One. That is so
It was on your list, though, of movies you've seen.
no, I think it was on my movies to see list.
Okay.
My what I want to watch in 2018. So yeah, the first two movies that I have that are coming out are Ready Player One, which is a March 30th release, and then Annihilation, which is February 23rd.
Yeah.
Ready Player One, based on the novel, it's pure 80s nostalgia. Annihilation, also based on a novel, weird science fiction movie.
Is it about trees?
Natalie Portman. It's about a zone. I think it's supposed to be in Florida. That basically they're from what I've gathered, they're sending in like exploration crews to this weird kind of other dimension that's formed in Florida, and people aren't coming back or crazy things are happening. It looks visually really stunning, and it's done by the people who did Ex Machina.
Okay.
So that plus it being Natalie Portman looks
Yeah.
great, but a February 23rd release date is kind of takes you back. But they also released Ex Machina in like April, I think.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'll see it anyways. Hope for the best.
Yeah. I think Annihilation was on my list as well. Trey, do you want to go do one?
You go do the list, because I didn't know we were doing a list. I thought we were just running down movies coming out this year. So I didn't
That
know.
we were just going to read off movies?
Yeah. I
No,
didn't
let's
know
just
we were
say the
gonna do a
ones.
list.
Let's just take turns going through and say ones that we are excited about.
Okay.
I'm excited for The Death of Stalin, which
I
is...
thought that already came out.
No, it came out in England. It is a BAFTA-nominated movie.
All right.
It's from the guy, Armando Iannucci, who does Veep. It's the
Okay.
guy who wrote Veep. The trailers look like a Veep scene.
Is it funny?
For all of
Supposed
it.
to be funny?
Yeah, it's funny. Jeffrey
Okay.
Tambor and Steve Buscemi,
Awesome.
and there's a bunch of interesting people in it, and it's about Stalin dies, and then the Soviets are kind of just having this power struggle for who's going to take over,
Awesome.
and they're all incompetent and awful,
That's-
and it looks hilarious.
Yeah, that's brilliant thinking. You're just thinking of a scenario like that, Stalin dying and who gets to take power, and seeing like, oh, that's great comedy potential. Like that's genius.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And so that's coming out in March.
Great.
Trey, is there
Anything?
anything that you saw that
Yeah, I mean, Annihilation. I'm with you on Annihilation. I'm interested in seeing Ready Player One.
Yeah, I've got a couple more on my list that I would, or at least one on my list that I think you would probably be very excited for.
Okay.
Venom, starring Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
coming out in October.
The Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, well, no, it's the Venom movie.
Oh, the Venom movie.
It's just a movie about Venom, which that's where I'm typically very anti superhero. I think if Tom Hardy's going to sign up for it,
You like a good Spooderman? I'll say Isle of Dogs. I'm excited for that.
you say you love
You
dogs.
I do love dogs, and I want to see Isle of Dogs, the Wes Anderson film, and we're going to review it, and you're going to have to... That's going to be your punishment.
if I lose, that's
I
gonna be-
I was thinking the same thing. I want to get some competition
Yes.
going where
Man.
Adam might have to watch.
He's going to
that.
have to watch that.
But-
oof.
But that's what did you? But have you caught the play on words in the name of the movie?
Isle of Dogs. I love dogs.
Yeah.
Is that, okay. I
I
didn't
was like,
notice
oh,
that.
I just like we walked past one of the little standees.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's clever, Wes.
Have you guys seen We Need to Talk About Kevin? This is sort of a non sequitur. I'm just looking at like this Rolling Stones, and I guess
No, is that
the
coming out
director.
this year?
No, it's an older movie, but I keep seeing it around. I put that on my watch list because this is I guess
No,
this is a
Lexi has seen it. She likes it.
Lane Ramsey. I guess
think.
she's doing this movie, the follow up to that movie. I guess
Oh.
her next movie, and it's called You Were Never Really Here.
I have that on my list with Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Yeah. It's coming up.
That movie, the Joaquin Phoenix one, that's going to be a movie that I'm going to wait and see what the reviews are like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a movie that I've seen before a
Mhm.
lot, where it's a guy who's protecting a little girl,
Yeah.
and he's kind of this big tough guy, bodyguard. I'm going to go and I'm going to beat up anybody who
Yeah.
comes after you,
Yeah.
and Joaquin's kind of doing like a weird thing. So it's like it could be really good, but I could also see the potential for it being
Mhm.
pretty not.
Yeah. We'll see what. As I like Joaquin Phoenix, so I will hope for the best.
Right.
But
Joaquin
I don't.
Phoenix was really good in her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one you might be very excited for, Trey, coming out on 4/20. Blaze it. Rampage.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one, Spencer.
That's like when someone told me they're making a movie out of Rampage, I was on board immediately.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Rampage movie. Rampage was the best game.
Yeah, it was the best game.
The Rock loves that monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves monkeys.
He is the white monkey.
The white monkey. Okay, Super Troopers 2 is coming out 4/20 as well. You know
It
that?
is. Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how well
I don't think it's going to be any
their
good.
comedy has aged.
I don't think it's aged very well.
I mean,
I'm
I
going to say that.
I still like hold a place in my heart for like Super Troopers and
hell
Beer
yeah.
Fest. Like those were hilarious.
We'll see, though.
But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we might be very surprised. I think one of the best bits in all film is the landfill bit where he comes back is his brother Gil.
Yeah.
And I already know everything about you, so there's not going to be any awkward getting to know each other process.
Yeah.
I really love that bit.
Sicario 2
Oh,
is
yes.
coming out
That is coming out
on
this
June
year.
29th. Denis Villeneuve
Yeah.
is not doing it.
Okay.
But he's
so
involved.
He's not
somewhat.
not
Producer, seducer, kind of.
He may be a producer
Yeah.
or something, but he's not involved
Sure.
Yeah.
for the most part. But it is written by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Hell or High Water,
Okay. Down.
which was a super fun
Yes.
movie.
Hell or High Water almost made my top 10.
Oh.
I love
Uh-huh.
that movie.
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
And Benicio and Josh Brolin are back.
Okay.
And to give that writer those characters
Mm-hmm.
to start off with, I think is a really good place.
So I remember we were talking about that when it was announced, and I'm like, why would you? Because I hadn't seen Sicario, and I'm like, why would you make a movie, a sequel to that? That doesn't make sense. And watching that movie now, I'm like, yeah, I could do like 5 more of these movies in this place.
Yeah.
Because that's a really interesting place to do a movie for a movie to take place.
yeah. The Irishman, I think, is said to be coming out this year.
It
Who
may
knows?
not.
It may not, but it's Scorsese and De Niro and Pacino.
And Harvey Keitel
And Harvey-
and Joe Pesci.
It's like-
it's everybody
Insane.
who you would associate with like that kind of movie.
Yeah. It's mobsters, Jimmy Hoffa.
It's based on the life of a guy who may or may not have had something to do with Jimmy Hoffa's death.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh man. Because I was trying to figure out what's coming out this year. Just kind of going through, obviously, big name directors I
Mhm.
like. Saw that was coming. I was like, oh, that looks good. So hopefully we'll see if it comes out this year. I would imagine if it doesn't come out this year, it would still be like January, because typically his movies are going to be an award season release.
It's also Netflix is the one who's funding it.
Oh,
So this
it's gonna
could
be
be
Netflix.
Netflix's big push to get an Oscar movie,
yeah.
which would be interesting. I don't know if this is kind of the same. It's not really, but Spike Lee has a movie
Yeah, I just
coming out
saw
in
that.
fall of 2018. It's called Black Klansman.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's a true story about a black Colorado Springs police officer who goes undercover to investigate the Klan.
Is this anything to do with that Vice documentary? I forgot what it is, but it was a black guy who infiltrated the Klan.
It
might
could be the same
thing.
story.
Okay.
It's starring Lil Denzel,
Oh yeah.
John David Washington from Ballers.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's really good. So it's him, and then Adam Driver's in it, and Topher
Love
Grace.
him. Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be kind of going from the racism that he sees when he's in the Klan and to the racism that he sees back in the police station.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And Spike Lee makes really good movies.
So that sounds great. So is he just like robed all the time?
There hasn't been any trailers or anything for it. I haven't read that guy's story.
Yeah.
Another award season movie that I could see. It's called First Man. It's coming out fall 2018. That's Damien Chazelle from La La Land and Whiplash, the writer-director.
I hate that guy so much. I hate him so much.
But I thought
because
you loved Whiplash.
How old is he?
He's young.
He is like younger than me, and he's made 2 Academy Award-winning movies.
He's
Yeah.
32.
Like, 32?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. He's
still
older than me.
very
Yeah,
young.
it's
Yeah.
very young.
It's
That's
insane.
very young.
Yeah, he also wrote 10
I don't hate
10
those.
Cloverfield Lane.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Okay. Wow.
I didn't realize.
He's got
that.
some range.
I had not realized that until I saw First Man and saw that he wrote 10 Cloverfield
Jeez.
Lane.
What's
So-
First Man about again, you said?
First Man is a Neil Armstrong story,
Okay, and
which
that's-
feels insane to me that there's not
Yeah.
Right.
Neil Armstrong
Well,
biopics.
there was in Tropic Thunder. Because his character played Neil Armstrong. Yeah. Oh, that's like it.
Yeah, so he's Ryan Gosling's going to be Neil Armstrong.
Which I'm for.
Yeah.
I love
And
me some
love the
Ryan
gas.
Gosling.
I think Neil Armstrong is a very interesting story because he could have been the most famous man in the world and do it like he was, but then after he was just like, no, I'm just going to go back home and I'm just going to hang out and I'm not going to go around and like
gonna-
Buzz Aldrin kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
is
Which is-
like the guy who goes around.
Which
and
is
does-
why it's been said like that's why Neil was the first is because he wasn't in it
He-
for the celebrity.
Uh-huh.
Next movie I have on my list is Incredibles 2.
Yeah, I put that on my list. Too.
Incredibles is great.
yeah.
So exciting. Again, it's Pixar just getting more sequels as opposed to
New ideas.
like new originals. Since
I think they're
Disney.
kind of doing the is it Martin Scorsese who says do one for me and one for them,
yeah,
essentially,
I don't know if it's him, but I've heard that term before.
where he'll make a movie that
Might be Spielberg more than Scorsese. I don't know.
Spielberg is like 4 movies a year.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
um
Do one for
but
me,
anyway,
one for them.
yeah, so they'll have like a sequel and they'll have their own original thing that won't make as much money
Yeah.
or as much acclaim.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are definitely just rolling out sequels all the time.
Yeah.
Unsane is a March movie that I saw from Steven Soderbergh.
Okay.
It's a horror movie that he shot on his iPhone.
Cool.
It has a bunch of people in it, including Jay Farrow, who used to be on SNL, and he said it's kind of Get Out-ish.
Cool.
I think Steven Soderbergh makes really good movies. I mean, he did
Yeah.
Logan Lucky, which was one of, I think, a movie that we said was kind of underrated
Top
from this
15,
year?
top 20, yeah, of
of
this year.
this year. Yeah, so I'm interested in what
Yeah, I'm into that.
what he has coming out.
I also have Creed 2 on my list for November.
Yeah.
Creed was great, and I will watch every single Rocky movie that ever is made. So
I think I've only seen. I don't even. I've seen the first Rocky. I've seen Rocky 4, and I've seen Creed.
you skip 2, 3.
Yeah.
You can skip
Thing is, though,
5.
I've watched Rocky 4 for a video I was doing, so
Okay.
it was kind of just that's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a big shift tonally from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 are all good and fun.
Mm-hmm.
5 is not good. Rocky Balboa is just old Rocky,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and then Creed is old Rocky teaching.
Yeah, well, I thought Creed was really good. Yeah.
I enjoy Rocky 4 quite a bit. I know it's like the dumbest.
Oh, it's
No, it's
so
great,
good.
though.
It's an
but
80s
it's
movie.
so great.
It's amazing.
It's a
Like,
dumb 80s movie. It's perfect.
I mean, yeah, I think for people who are longtime listeners know that. Wait, I didn't do my my movies of the year yet.
You mean your top 10 movies?
Were we
yet?
saving that? I
No,
thought
we'll do it for last.
All right, I didn't.
Maybe
I didn't,
we might
I
have
didn't remember
screwed
if
up
we
the
were
run
s-
sheet.
Yeah, I didn't remember if we were saving that. I can't remember. For some reason, I thought we had said we were doing that
No.
first. Anyways, anyone who's listened knows, especially Adam and I, really like shitty action movies. Just a movie you can just sit down and watch
Mm-hmm.
and just have fun.
Have five with your
That
buds.
is Rocky 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I had such a fun time watching all those 80s movies this last year. I watched so many, and they're so great.
The Favorite is another movie that I have coming out
Mm-hmm.
in 2018, and it is another Yorgos
Yeah.
movie starring Jennifer Lawrence, who is apparently just like willing to. She got her fame, and now she's willing to take a whole bunch of weird ass roles.
Yeah.
I would assume it's supposed to be. I think it's like a 19th century movie about either a royal family or a rich family. There's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of information about it, but directed by Yorgos. We'll see.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna fight it.
I will. Yeah, I will watch anything made by Yorgo. I have. Well, we've talked about the God Particle, the new Cloverfield installment. That has me so interested. Just, I mean, one, it's a Cloverfield story, so love that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Two, just the mystery shrouded around it, or that is shrouded in, is got me super interested.
Yeah.
Also, Mortal Engines. It's a new Peter Jackson movie, which looks like basically Mad Max and
Right.
Star Wars had
Oh,
a
really?
baby.
Yeah.
It looks like I think there's only teasers out right now.
Mortal Engines.
Yeah.
I think it's based on a novel or a series of novels, but it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's very Mad Maxy.
And that's coming out in November. I think it's
yeah.
late in the year.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So watch the teaser for that. It looks awesome.
It's very, very exciting.
Probably my most anticipated film of the year this year is Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral. That's gonna be just an amazing watch.
I'm just shocked they
Yeah.
haven't gotten to Funeral yet with all the
Yeah.
other events that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, you were talking about God Particle, how there's nothing out about it. I'm going to have another movie that has nothing out about it. It's Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Oh,
It's coming out May 25th, and we have
that's the day
seen
before my birthday.
we have seen nothing.
Nope. And
Yeah.
we won't.
Is that how you're going to ring in 30?
Oh fuck! I might just kill myself before that movie comes out. That's a day early. Austin and
Why
I
are
already
you
have a
not
suicide
excited?
pact. Dude, how old are you right now?
I am. I'm 42, I think.
You look 42.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. It's not a good year. Not a good year.
Well,
Anyway,
Have some hope.
that's really depressing.
Have
Keep
some
going
hope.
on your stories.
Solo, I'm going to see it, and I'm actually maybe I'm dumb. I'm still kind of excited for it.
Sure,
I don't
it's a Star Wars
Well,
movie.
I had a much more positive take on The Last Jedi. And either way, it's a completely different crew making this movie, aside from the fact that it's Disney.
Right.
So obviously they'll have kind of the same input, but whatever, man. I'm going to go and eat some popcorn, drink a big old icy, and enjoy myself.
The big thing is that them not releasing anything
It's
at
weird.
all.
Even with the reshoots,
Yeah,
they would be able to
it's-
put together some sort of teaser.
When's the I guess that Star Wars events in December, towards like
It's-
the fall, yeah.
It's well, they do May 4th.
No, they
as
don't
well.
really. That's just sort of a fan holiday. They don't
Well, no,
really do
they
anything.
release a bunch of stuff on it now.
Okay. Man,
But in the movie's
that's
May
too soon, yeah.
26th,
May 25th.
25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm with Spencer. I'm not like frothing at the mouth, but I'm excited. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm not
you know.
going to it expecting to
No.
see like A New Hope or
Sure.
anything.
And I feel like I enjoyed the last Star Wars, but I kind of felt like it was a weird feeling. Like, oh, you know what? These are just fun, dumb movies. It's not
Right,
that big of a
that's-
deal.
That's been if you can level set and and go in expecting that, then
just
have fun.
Yeah. It's not like, not a 40-hour video game.
Yeah, another movie
investing into.
Another movie that there's not a ton out on, Happy Time Murders.
Okay.
It is the Muppets, but it's like a noir crime film.
Huh.
All right.
There's no trailers out, but the Muppets are great.
It's not Muppet-esque.
It's like Jim Henson's son.
Interesting.
Is like running it. I believe. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but it is the Muppets.
That sounds fantastic.
So we're getting Muppets and humans interacting in a noir setting. So it should be great.
Yeah.
Another childhood sort of thing. Won't You Be My Neighbor is a documentary that's
Is that a sequel
out.
to Call Me by Your Name?
No. It's coming out June 8th. It's a Mr. Rogers documentary, obviously, from the guy who directed 20 Feet from Stardom.
Okay.
Which, have you seen that or know about that?
I remember that coming out when I was working in Angelica.
Yeah. It's a movie about kind of the backup singers and how they were never really allowed a chance or whatever to it's mostly like how they were black girls who were made to sing in the back and they would never have their own thing, like the girls who sang in the back of Rolling Stone songs.
Mike Reiner watched that and really liked it.
It's really, really good. And so I'm interested in what this guy does with Mr. Rogers, and I'm sure it's just going to be like, oh yeah, he's the nicest dude.
That's what I hear, is he's the nicest guy. Yeah.
And a bunch of stories that'll make you cry.
Oh.
Yeah. Bumblebee's getting his own movie.
I'm going to end the show right here. Super Gamescast 64.
And then also
Gamescast on purpose.
So aside from Bumblebee, the last thing I have is New Westworld, which is not a movie.
Yeah,
but New Westworld this year.
I still haven't finished.
I'm so excited for.
I still have not finished it. That's all up my alley. I just haven't finished it.
Right. So yeah.
A few other movies I have: Black Panther, February 16th. That is going to be kind of the big one to start off the year. Widows, which is a movie based on a British TV show where there's a bunch of armed robbers who are kind of like professional guys, and they get murdered, and then their wives step in and complete the job, which I think is kind of a better, more interesting way to do like a Ocean's 8. Even though I think Ocean's 8 could be interesting as well. The big thing is, I mean, the cast and writer, Steve McQueen from 12 Years a Slave is directing. The author of Gone Girl wrote it with him. And then there's Viola Davis, Liam Neeson, Michelle Rodriguez, Colin Farrell, Daniel Kaluuya, Carrie Coon, John Barenthal.
Carrie Coon?
Yeah.
This is a must-watch now.
Yeah. We're getting another Alfonso Cuarón movie. It's called Roma. It's going to be about...
Man, I still have not seen, what is it?
Gravity?
Amores Perros. It's one of his first movies. I've ever told you about the story where I was on an airplane, and this is like when I was in middle school, and I was sitting next to a dude who probably was in his 20s at the time. I was really young. And started talking to him. My sister was sitting next to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really into movies. And he's like, I'm in Hollywood. I do like production. And you're like, oh, cool. Do you have any movies to recommend? And he recommends all these movies, and it was like Seven, Goodfellas, The Godfather, like all these like amazing movies are like my favorite movies now. And I remember he put Amores Perros on there. I never saw that. But like The Game, just like all these amazing movies. And I always remember that. I forgot what the guy's name was, but that was sort of like a moment where I found all my favorite movies. Yeah, cool. It was weird, but it was cool.
Bohemian Rhapsody is coming out. That's Sacha Baron Cohen as Freddie Mercury.
Well, isn't it?
No, not Sacha Baron Cohen. It's
Rami Malek.
Yeah,
now.
Rami Malek.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they switched him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Sacha Baron Cohen had like creative differences with
the rest of Queen.
Oh,
right?
Bryan Singer, who hasn't yet been Me Too'd yet, who probably should. He's directing it, right? Or is he not directing it anymore?
Well, I don't know about either of those things.
Oh, you don't know the stories of Bryan Singer?
No.
Bryan Singer has bad stories.
He's bad.
Well, then, hey. the rest of Queen like wanted it to be like Freddie dies like halfway through the movie, and the second half is about how Queen carried on.
Okay.
Which is nobody
No one wants to
cares
see that
about
movie.
So like the final act is just all Lambert whatever taking the place.
Yes. All right. So
Cool. Excellent little
those
list.
are movies that are coming out.
Those are movies that are coming out.
Watch out.
We'll,
All right, so
we'll have more updates when the, I guess, festival season comes around. What kind of movies come out of that? So, Spencer,
Yeah.
we need to get to know Spencer in this episode. So, Spencer, please give us your list of your top 10 favorite movies of all time. This is a definitive list. You can never change it.
It
after
never
today.
will change.
Never will change.
I am pretty set in my ways. These are the 10 best movies I will ever see.
Yes.
And I have 6 that just barely missed the cut.
Oh,
Let's
hear those.
I'd mentioned a couple. Hell or High Water barely missed the cut. Trading Places,
okay.
which is just peak Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that movie. Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors, The Shining, and then never mind, 7 because I have Man on the Moon and Truman Show. I was trying to pick one Jim
Okay,
Carrey movie.
yeah.
I picked no Jim Carrey movies.
Oh, wow.
But Man on the Moon and Truman Show are both fantastic.
I want to go back
showcasing-
and rewatch Truman Show.
Truman Show is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Really love that. Anyways, number 10, I have The Goonies.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So part of my criteria for this list is I have to have seen the movie more than once,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe I'm not allowing any one director to have more than one movie
Yeah,
on my list.
that's usually safe.
So The Goonies is one of those movies I watched nonstop growing up.
Same here. Dude, I was so into the Goonies.
Just an awesome
Yeah.
80s movie. Number 8, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Number 8.
9.
9. Okay.
Okay.
Number 9, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Wes Anderson, just
He's so great.
super entertaining
Yeah.
stop motion animation. Love the
Wes
movie.
Anderson can do no wrong.
This is the movie that I think his style works best with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That he does.
Wait
Besides
till
that,
wait till you see Isle of Dogs.
Dude, you're going to love I Love Dogs.
God damn it!
uh,
I'm never losing anything again.
Number 8, I have Inglourious Bastards.
Okay. I think that's the constant for all 3 lists.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. I was basically I have to pick one Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
And that's just the one I picked
Yeah,
today.
I'm with you.
And I think that's the one I would pick most days.
I think
it's
I
awesome.
think you could argue that Django is probably his best one, but I enjoyed Inglourious Bastards a lot.
Well, I think
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think anyone. I would never argue that Django's his best one.
Okay.
I would say
I would
you
argue
could,
Pulp Fiction.
You could argue
Yeah,
Pulp
Pulp Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah.
I think it's Pulp Fiction.
I don't know if Reservoir Dogs goes
then-
up against some of those.
A lot of people would put Reservoir Dogs.
I
up
know
there,
they
think.
would, but I don't know.
I don't think I would. I
Yeah.
think it's either Pulp Fiction or Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards is just, it's everything I love
Yeah.
about movies. I
I
guess that's very generic.
it's everything. I love.
Everything I love about no, like, the alternative World War II stuff.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. It's
and yeah.
rewriting his. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if?
Yeah.
So
And then
yeah, I
Christoph
love.
Waltz just steals it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have Stand by Me.
Okay.
Probably
Yes.
the best Stephen King movie.
That's
That's not The Shining.
well,
Well,
that's true.
for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Stand by Me. It's just it's sort of a not so much a coming of age as it is just one of those
Moment in
limited
time.
one of those limited time frames. This is to some showing so much about a friendship, like a group of friends in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's got Kiefer Sutherland, so
Yeah.
Number 6, I have The Jerk.
The Jerk is very good.
As far, I think what Adam had said as far as like jokes per minute in Airplane, or laughs per minute, like The Jerk is, I laughed, especially like the first time seeing it more than like any other movie. Love The Jerk. Number 5, I have Back to the Future,
Ooh.
which is maybe the most rewatchable movie in the world to me.
Yeah.
Partially part of it is because it is so of the time, and it knows it, and it just amps it up, and the characters are so insanely likable and memorable, and well played. Number 4, I have Fargo, which is, I think, the best Coen Brothers movie. Just such a cool style. I mean, I love the Coen Brothers style, and I think that's like their style at its best.
Did you have a Coen Brothers movie on your list?
I don't know if I did. I don't think I did.
'Cause I know I had 2. I was kind of cheating.
But there's 2 brothers, so
yeah,
it's fine.
exactly. Yeah,
You could have one for Joel. One
yeah.
for me.
Fargo would have been my Coen Brother movie of choice as well.
I think mine's No Country and
Yeah,
Big
And Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
Yeah,
which are they're both great.
Yeah.
I mean,
but no, Fargo's it's up there.
yeah, the Coen Brothers hit rate though is just so insane for me. Number 3, Fast and Furious 6.
All right, there you go.
So good.
So I I believe Adam had the entire franchise as number 10.
I think I had
You had 5.
You had 5. Okay. 6 was the best for me, mostly for nostalgic reasons. This was the series kind of reinvented itself fully with 5 as far as the direction they were going. But 6 was when I got back into the series. We saw it at midnight. We had bought a bunch of NOS and chugged them outside the theater. And it was just one of the most incredible movie-going experiences because it is a movie that is for people who want to friggin' have fun and get amped. And the entire theater was on board.
Yeah.
We were hyped up on NOS, and we were yelling at the screen. And people could easily just get pissed off, and like rightfully so, that kids are dicking around and yelling in the movies. But everyone was like, Dom jumps off of his car over in like a treacherous overpass and freaking tackles Letty out of the air, landing on the other side of the bridge. And everyone freaking erupted with applause and hooting and hollering.
It has to be the right kind of movie, the right kind of audience.
Exactly.
Like that,
It was that was one of the best movie going
Yeah.
experiences of my life. Love the whole franchise. That's my favorite. Number 2 is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I think Christopher Nolan is probably my favorite director
Okay.
right now, and so I mean there are lots of very good directors right now, but I love so many Christopher Nolan movies, and that's just this is the one I picked today.
Yeah.
I love The Dark Knight, and that's another really cool movie
I
going
can't
experience.
argue with you on that. Yeah.
So
It is weird how Christopher Nolan is he's an acclaimed director who also has big box office success,
right.
which there really isn't a ton
Yeah.
of crossover these
Yeah.
days, I would say.
I'd say probably
it's very
Spielberg.
it's Spielbergian, yeah.
Would you say Scorsese? I'd say Tarantino. Definitely.
But even still, not they. I mean, like Spielberg is the only one I think that's
Yeah.
this. I mean, Tarantino movies do well financially, but they're not huge blockbusters like Dunkirk or
Right.
like the Dark Knight trilogy, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, I think we've mentioned it
Yeah.
before, but my favorite movie of all time is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Tim Burton, obviously Pee-wee, Paul Rubens. It's an amazing movie, and I think I could see why someone would watch it, and clearly it wouldn't be most people's favorite movie, but I do think it's the movie itself suffers from kind of the preconceived notion of what Pee-wee is, that it's kids stuff, and that Paul Rubens is a weirdo who jerked off in a movie theater. It was a
Thing is,
pornographic movie theater.
That is
where you jerk off.
that is like George Bush compared to Trump right now. Like that is the least of people's worries about jerking off at a porno movie theater. I think time has been kind on Paul Rubin on that.
Yeah, no,
You know?
yeah, but I think it is a movie that if
think
you
it's
have
okay.
not seen it, you can easily think that it's just like a joke. But it is actually an insanely entertaining movie.
Is this a kind of a nostalgia thing for you, like a childhood thing, or is
No,
this-
I just love it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I watched it that much growing up. I got super into it like in high school.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It has action. It has romance. It has a little bit of horror. It has dancing and singing. It's a really, really insanely entertaining movie. If you have not watched it, I would really recommend watching it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but it's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I respect that.
So Trey, have you seen it?
I've not.
Oh,
That's my recommendation for you this
Is
week.
this a punishment or a recommendation?
Well, I just told you it's my favorite movie.
Oh, a recommendation. Okay.
It is another. I can't remember if it was 85, maybe. Maybe later. It's in the 80s, so it's another 80s movie,
Yeah.
and it certainly is campy.
Yeah.
So sorry if I'm just making you watch campy movies.
I
but-
like campy movies. It just the Warriors didn't really stick with me as some other movies did, like Commando or
Yeah.
Face Off.
Well, we can talk about
Sure.
what I actually recommend to you off air because
We can
you
do
might
that.
hate this movie.
I'll watch it. I don't know.
I would recommend it.
Okay. You want to do the
Okay.
recommendations now?
let's do it.
All right. So I have one in the chamber, but I don't know if I want to use that right now. It doesn't really make sense. Have you both seen Moon?
Yes.
You've seen Moon.
I have not seen Moon.
I want you to see Moon.
Okay.
And have you seen Brick?
No.
I want you to see Brick.
All right. I'll watch Brick.
I think you'll like Brick.
Yeah.
You've seen Brick.
Where can
right?
I
I've seen Brick.
watch Brick?
Illegally.
All right.
Um,
no, we have.
I will help you.
We have access. I'll check. We have like a shared library.
Yeah,
with
we
some
do.
folks. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
will,
Okay.
So I'll see if it's on there, and if not, I'll find
I'll help you out.
alternative methods.
Okay.
Okay.
Moon illegally.
Okay.
right.
Trey, for
Yes.
you, I'm going to suggest The Wrestler.
Okay, that was on my list. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
The
yeah.
Wrestler, Aronofsky. I mean, Black Swan's really great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the Aronofsky movie that I enjoy the most,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And I don't really hear people talk about it much
Mhm.
anymore, but I think it's really, really good.
Okay.
And then for Spencer, it may be hard to get. I don't know. Wind River is what I'm gonna
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
suggest to you.
Yeah.
Wind River was a movie that came out this year. And if you can't find that, because I don't know, it may just be rental. Watch Good Time, which
Okay,
is
yeah.
the Robert Pattinson movie that I watched earlier. I
I
think
might
you'd
just watch both.
really like that.
Me. too.
And I have no problem with renting a movie. So
Yeah.
if
Could
have to
I-
rent it, I will.
Have you guys seen Old Boy?
I watched the remake.
Okay.
I think it was Spike Lee that remade
Yeah.
it, and I enjoyed it. Lexi does not like it because she really likes the original.
I love
Um,
the original.
So I'd be willing to watch.
Could
the
I give
original.
you guys 2 recommendations?
Sure, and I mean if we'll watch everything we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, Old Boy's probably on there
Yeah,
too.
I've
Yeah.
been wanting to watch that. So
Okay.
Okay.
I remember specifically hearing about that movie. It was in high school. I was in a film class, and I was talking to this Asian kid about movies, and I don't know why I had to describe him as an Asian. I just remember he was like a fat Asian kid.
Oh,
And
so now
It's
it
just
wasn't
kinda
enough to
funnier.
call him just Asian. Now he's
And-
fat and
well,
Asian.
is it okay to call him an Asian man? He was a fat Asian man.
And I just remember him telling me, "Man, you know it's a really good movie, Old Boy. Old Boy's awesome."
Is
So
it
I
a-
watched it, and I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Is he a? Is it okay to call him fat Asian man? He was a fat illiterate Asian man.
Ah,
Fat, illiterate, racist Asian. man.
I'm sorry, I'm such a racist.
Adam, you have a watch list on Letterboxd.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is this movies you have not seen or just movies?
Yeah, it's movies I haven't seen.
So you have not seen 12 Monkeys.
I have not seen 12
Ooh.
Monkeys.
Watch 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
12 Monkeys is so cool. This
I'm gonna
is
second that. Yeah.
this is like peak cool Bruce Willis.
That
Yeah.
is one of. I think it's my top 10 list, or it's if it's not, it's like top 12.
Because I
Yeah.
can't remember which one came first, but he did 12 Monkeys and Fifth Element back to back.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh man,
I need to
those
see
are
Fifth Element.
two of the coolest
Yeah.
sci-fi action movies ever. And then have you also have Nocturnal Animals on yours? This one might also be hard to find. Have you seen Nocturnal Animals?
I've not. It's
So
on my
if
list,
you
though.
if you don't want to watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure, watch Nocturnal Animals
Okay.
because it is one of my favorite actors, Michael Shannon,
Yes.
and
Oh.
one of his best performances for sure. It was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
It's a really cool movie. It's Tom Ford, who's also a fashion designer,
Yeah.
who makes really good movies as well. So it's a pretty talented guy.
Cool. All right. Cool deal.
Twitter time?
Yeah, for the few we have. Chris the Fields asks, "Hey, Super FilmsCast 64, what are your thoughts on blueberries?"
They're one of the best foods for you. Cannot
pretty good.
recommend blueberries enough.
Yeah.
Great in smoothies, great in pancakes and waffles, great by themselves as well.
Mm-hmm. Chris the Fields asks,
blueberries in
Oh, I'm
films
sorry, Adam.
more specifically.
Yes.
Oh, in films?
Violet.
Violet, yeah.
She's number one blueberry
Mhm.
girl.
She does
From Willy
become a
Wonka.
blueberry, yeah. You're
Mhm.
right. Chris the Fields asks, "Hey, Super FilmsCast 64, what are your thoughts on cherries?"
Not as good in smoothies or pancakes or waffles, but maybe better by themselves than
Mhm.
blueberries.
I'm not a Bournemouth fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I no to the cherries.
Man.
Super Football Cast 64.
Football.
Football.
Mr. Matt Birmingham asks, why?
Why football? Because it's English. Oh, wait. Matt Birmingham asked why, or you asked
He
why?
asked why.
Oh, why? Okay.
Mm.
Well, because the English pronunciation is football. When you say football, that's like the Spanish pronunciation. He was referring to an English Premier League team.
Connor Risenhoover asks, "Is this the last year of really popular superhero films, or are they on their are they on their last legs?"
So 2018, I think he's talking
Yes,
about
this year.
generally the Avengers Age of
There's a
or
ton
the
coming out this year.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Freaking Aquaman is getting his own movie this year.
Yeah, and that's getting a December release.
It's
I
like-
think
it's-
depending on how Infinity War goes, people could be a lot less hyped. I think it could be the downward slope. I have a hard time believing that, given what I've seen from the other movies, that movie's going to do anything to disappoint
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're going up against like Jumanji on its like 12th week,
Yeah.
and nothing else. People are going to go see these superhero movies. I hope to God it ends eventually. I am fine with a couple superhero movies
Yeah.
every year, but when it's every 2 months, there's another one.
There's
It
no
just gets-
thought, too. Like,
Right.
you get the Dark Knight, and that had thought into it. You had the original Iron Man had thought into it.
Yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 1 had thought into
Right.
it.
I mean, Deadpool was fun.
Deadpool, yeah.
I mean,
But now it's-
the first two Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans were good.
Mm-hmm.
Third was the best. It's like since then it's all been downhill.
And it's just, it's a formula now. They're not really doing anything different. And when they are, it's sort of like, well, we'll make it more 80s campy comedy different.
And then they're like, oh wait, this worked in one thing. Let's do this on everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get things like, well, I think the X-Men movies have always been pretty good and
Yeah.
different.
And there are a couple X-Men movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
Actually, there's
Like-
like New Mutants
Mm-hmm.
and another one. I can't remember what it's called.
I mean, Logan was really good last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's just so much. It's just way too oversaturated, and anything oversaturated, it gets really dull after a while.
Mhm.
Because I don't hate the concept of it. I mean, I love Chronicle, which we just established at the beginning of the show. But if you're not gonna do new ideas, it just gets old.
Mhm.
I think that's all the Twitter questions.
So we got blueberry, cherry.
I like
Why?
BlackBerry. I'm team BlackBerry.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's like the most secure phone out there.
Well, this is Super FilmsCast 64. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please give us a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.
Where can they find you, Trey?